I am completely rewatching Stranger Things for the first time since my first initial watch of each season, and I'm now on season 3. There's already so much that I've already forgotten about. I'm only 2 episodes in, but I want to talk about the stuff that I knew and remembered going into it. So I remembered some of like the bigger stuff, like the Steve, Robin, and Dustin storyline, and like the Scoops Ahoy costumes. I remember the final battle. I remember the Hopper, Joyce, and Murray storyline. I remember there being like some kind of hallway altercation, and I remember the 80s vibes being off the charts. And I remember specifically the moment that Elle dumps Mike, that I dump your ass moment. But outside of that, there was so much that was like my memory was just jogging as I was rewatching the show. I can't believe I forgot so much. When I was watching season 3 for the first time, I must have just been watching everything in the moment, but not retaining anything. The first thing that I want to say off the bat about season 3 is that we're only like 2 episodes in. I just started episode 3, and the show was already just like so much funnier, but also so much scarier. Sequences are much scarier. There's like actually a lot of really good jump scares, and like Hopper is just hilarious. There's just a lot more comedy, and it's just overall much funnier season already. And obviously, in this season, we get to see a better look of like Mike and Elle actually being in a relationship now. And in episode 1, they're just absolutely adorable. Obviously, it does suck that like they do kind of blow off their friends a little bit more, but Lucas is very hypocritical here because if Max had like the same limitations that 11 had, where she can't be outside for very long, he would be doing the exact same thing. And another thing that I just absolutely love about this show is that in the first few episodes, they're just really laying the groundwork for this new crazy thing that's happening. And they're doing that in these subtle ways with the way that the Upside Down is affecting the environment of Hawkins. Like in season 2, that was with the vines and the pumpkins being like destroyed and poison and all that. Now in season 3, it's the rats and it's the magnets. Like this whole magnet storyline came back in my head like the moment very early in episode 1 where the magnets fall off the fridge in Joyce's kitchen and she picks up the photo, the drawing of Bob Newby superhero, which was the moment where they just want to be like, oh, here's the Bob Newby stuff to take you away from the fact that all the magnets are on the ground. Make sure you're not paying attention to that yet, which is just like masterful storytelling, obviously. And I completely forgot there's even a Bob Newby whole flashback sequence in this, and like I just love Sean Astin as Bob Newby. It was just such a pleasant surprise, and it really just sucks for Will because poor Will just wants to play D&D, but he was like for like the last year basically he was either in the Upside Down or he was basically possessed. So he is so very behind, and he can feel it now because he just wants to play D&D, and all these guys grew up while he was either in the Upside Down or just very sick for being possessed. And that really sucks. But it's also a way of showing that when people are like behind developmentally as kids are getting older, that kids are going to start being like alienated from their friends because their interests aren't lining up anymore. Now that kind of brings me to the end of episode 1, the start of episode 2, where Mike starts lying to Elle because Hopper basically threatened him. And I remember like my opinion of Mike just kind of weighing, going further down each season. But for my like recollection of season 3, I just remember Mike kind of being a dick. But I didn't remember the fact that it's basically because Hopper is threatening him to not spend so much time with Elle. Granted, he is still like very whiny and annoying after that, but it still is just not him being a dick just because like that's just who he is. He just feels forced to have to do that. Like Mike's character really just meets its peak in season 1 because he's the main character and we get to see all of his aspects in his relationship with people. But it just kind of goes down in each season because his roles just get a little less important, and he just gets more like whiny and annoying the older he gets. And then there's a moment in episode 2 where Hopper asks Joyce to go to dinner with him at Enzo's. And that was a moment that also brought back another memory because I completely forgot about Hopper's ending this season, his whole thing with Joyce, and then the letter that he leaves for 11 at the end. Again, there's just so much that I forgot that I'm so looking forward to watching this again and experiencing these moments again for the first time in a very long time. And we also get the moment, the iconic moment that's now like kind of its own meme on TikTok, the moment where Dustin and Steve meet up at Scoops Ahoy. They're starting to like, crack the code already, but their relationship is just so good. They're clearly the best duo of the series. And freaking Carrie Elvis, Dr. Lawrence Gordon, he's a doctor.
I'm a doctor.
I don't remember him being in this show at all. That was just another pleasant surprise. I definitely remember watching this in 2019 and just seeing that this guy's the mayor and not batting an eye at who's playing it. It's crazy that they got Carrie Ellis for this role, but it's a great casting. And then we also, in episode 2, got the 11 and Max shopping montage, which is just so perfect. I love the 80s style. 11's like black and multicolored, like romper, whatever you want to call that, is so iconic, and I love that look for her. And their shopping montage is just so cute, very much 80s vibes and like 80s style. The only thing was like when they were doing the photo shoot, I don't picture a girl like 11 making those kind of poses. Like those were very much like celebrity faces and poses that Millie Bobby Brown was making in those moments. That just kind of took me out of it a little bit, but they were just very clearly having fun. And then that leads to the I dump your ass moment at the end of the episode. Like Eleven is just trying to like learn how to be a person, and Max is being like a person that's trying to guide her a little bit. And Max and Lucas even said that Max and Lucas have broken up like 5 different times. So of course that's going to be something that happens, but obviously they're going to reconcile eventually. And I think it all just kind of makes sense for 11 trying to figure out who she wants to be. And now we're just going to get whiny Mike for the rest of the season, which again is just another reason why he's just a little bit annoying and just not as good as he is in season one, because his character is just changing, but he's just a little bit too annoying for my liking. But I'm still very early in season three. I want to keep these videos up, keep updating you all my thoughts on all these crazy things that I completely forgot about. And I'm really curious to see if this is going to be like one of my favorite seasons, because I don't see anything topping season one, but season three is just so much freaking fun. And it is really just like what you're feeling in the moment. If you're feeling more comedy and horror in the moment, you should watch season three. But if you're just feeling like good vibes, 80s vibes, watch season one. But so far, I'm really enjoying it. What are your favorite seasons of Stranger Things? What are you looking forward to in Stranger Things 5?